Payday has a strange way of lying to you. For a few hours, maybe one day, everything feels okay. The deposit hits, the number in the account goes up, your chest relaxes. You buy groceries without doing math in the aisle. You fill the gas tank instead of putting in $20 and hoping it lasts. Then, the money disappears. Not dramatically, quietly. Rent, gas, insurance, groceries, a subscription you forgot, takeout because everyone was tired, a school expense, a bill that was higher than expected. And a week later, you ask the question millions of people ask every month. Where did it go? Not, where did I spend it? That sounds like you were careless. The real question is deeper. Where did it go? Money does not feel like it leaves anymore. It leaks. It evaporates. It slips through the cracks of a life that keeps getting more expensive, more automatic, and harder to manage. For most of my adult life, my money system was simple. I did not look too closely, and I hoped it was fine. I knew roughly what came in. I had a vague sense of what went out. I checked my balance when anxiety got louder than avoidance. That is not unusual. A lot of people manage money through approximate awareness and strategic avoidance. They are not reckless, they are not stupid, they are tired of feeling confronted by their own life every time they open a banking app. But eventually, the vague dread gets worse than the specific truth. One day, I looked at my account and the number did not make sense. It was not empty, it was not a crisis, but it was too low for where I was in the month. So instead of closing the app, I opened a spreadsheet. Not because I was excited, not because I suddenly became a finance person, because I was tired of asking the same question every month. I'm Evan, and if you have ever felt like your money disappeared while you were just trying to live a normal life, subscribe to Evan Gets It. This channel is for people who are tired of being told they are the problem when life itself got expensive. So I made the first real budget of my life. And the first surprise was that it did not immediately fix anything. It did not give me more money, it did not make rent cheaper, it did not erase debt, it did not lower grocery prices. I was still the same person, with the same income, same bills, same stress, and same life. But for the first time, I could see the whole thing. And once I could see it, I could finally start doing something about it. That is the part nobody tells you. A budget does not fix your life overnight. It does something more important at the beginning. It stops the fog. When you do not have a budget, your money exists in fog. You know the obvious bills: rent, car payment, insurance, phone, utilities, credit cards, groceries. But most people are not destroyed by one giant bill. They are worn down by small leaks around the edges. This is where people get judged unfairly. A lot of money advice talks to people like they are irresponsible children. It acts like people are struggling because they are lazy, spoiled, or addicted to coffee. And yes, people make bad choices. Everybody does. But the bigger truth is that modern life is built to separate you from your money quietly. Everything is automatic. Everything is frictionless. Everything renews. Everything is only $12 a month. Everything is just this once. And if you are tired, stressed, or emotionally drained enough, you stop making decisions from a calm place. You start making them from survival. That is why budgeting is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming awake. The first time I made a budget, I expected to find a few obvious problems. Maybe a subscription or two. Maybe too much food delivery. But what I found was more uncomfortable. My spending was not a decision. It was an accumulation. A subscription I signed up for once and forgot. A grocery number I mentally rounded down. A restaurant habit I did not count because each meal felt like a moment, not a category. A car expense I only thought of as a payment, not insurance, gas, maintenance, and repairs. The budget showed me that I was making financial decisions based on the number in my head, and the number in my head was wrong. That is what financial vagueness does. It does not feel like ignorance. It feels like a reasonable estimate. But a reasonable estimate that is hundreds of dollars off every month becomes thousands off every year. Then you spend the year wondering why you cannot get ahead. The budget did not create the problem. It turned the lights on. Every budget eventually asks a deeper question. What are you actually optimizing for? Not what do you say you care about. What does your money say you care about? Some spending is not really about the item. It is about relief. It is about convenience. It is about not wanting to think. It is about feeling behind and wanting one small thing to feel easy. Once I saw that, I could stop pretending the solution was just discipline. Because discipline is hard when your whole life is overloaded. Sometimes the better solution is not try harder. Sometimes the better solution is make the decision earlier. That is what a budget does. It moves the decision to a calmer moment. You are not deciding whether to order takeout when you are hungry, tired, annoyed, and halfway home. You decided earlier. You are not deciding whether to save after everyone else already got paid. You decided earlier. Not because the spreadsheet was magical, because for the first time, the money had a job before the world got to it. This part keeps a roof over my head. This part feeds my family. This part keeps the car moving. This part pays down the past. This part protects me from emergencies. That sounds simple, almost too simple. But simple does not mean easy. The first budget is not really a math problem. The math is basic. Money in, money out. The hard part is emotional. The landlord gets paid. The bank gets paid. The credit card company gets paid. The phone company gets paid. The grocery store gets paid. Then, if anything is left, maybe you save. Maybe you pay extra debt. Maybe you breathe. But usually, there is nothing left. So you tell yourself you will start next month. Then next month shows up wearing a fake mustache. Same bills, same stress, same cycle. A budget interrupts that cycle, not because it gives you more money, because it lets you decide before the month decides for you. A real budget is a plan made before the money leaves. That matters because a lot of financial stress comes from choosing accidentally. You do not mean to choose takeout over savings. It just happens. You do not mean to choose convenience over peace. It just happens. A budget makes the choice visible before it becomes regret. Now, I want to be honest. A budget is not magic. If your income is genuinely too low for basic living costs, a budget will not pretend otherwise. Some people have an income problem. Some people have a rent problem. Some people have a debt problem so large that the math does not work. And if that is you, the budget is still useful. Not because it magically fixes the gap, because it tells you the truth. There is a difference between feeling like you are failing and seeing that the numbers do not work. If the numbers do not work, that is not a character flaw, that is information. The first move does not have to be complicated. Write down the money coming in. Then write down the money that has to go out. Housing, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments, childcare, medical, phone, internet. Then write down the things that happen but pretend not to. Birthdays, school stuff, car maintenance, annual bills, clothes, haircuts, pet expenses, household items. Then write down the optional things that are still real. Eating out, subscriptions, entertainment, spending money, gifts, small purchases. Then compare the plan to the income. Either the numbers fit or they do not. If they fit, give every dollar a job. If they do not fit, make specific decisions. This subscription goes. This category gets reduced. This bill gets negotiated. This purchase waits. This savings line starts, even if it starts tiny. Once the money is visible, give yourself the first mission. Build a small emergency buffer. $500 if that is where you need to start. $1,000 if you can. $2,000 if your life needs more protection because you have kids, an older car, unstable hours, or medical costs. Not because that solves everything, because it gives life something to hit before it hits your credit card. That is the first wall. Then, once that wall exists, debt becomes easier to attack. Paying down debt while every emergency creates new debt is like draining a bathtub while the faucet is still running. The budget helps you find the faucet. The emergency fund gives you a bucket. Then the debt plan can actually work. That is how money starts to change. Slowly, boringly, honestly. First you see the truth. Then you reduce the leaks. Then you build the starter emergency fund. Then you stop relying on credit. Then you attack one debt. Then you breathe a little more. You start trusting yourself again. And trust with yourself may be the most underrated part of personal finance. So if your money disappears every month, start there. Not with shame, not with perfection, not with a complicated system. Start with the truth. If this helped you see money differently, leave a comment with one word: visible. Because that is the first win. Not rich, not perfect, visible. And if you want more money advice for normal people who are tired of pretending adulthood is affordable, subscribe. I'm Evan, and I get it. The first budget may not make you rich, but it can give you your attention back. It can give you your choices back. It can give you your next step back. After years of asking, where did it go? You may finally have an answer. More importantly, you may finally have a plan.